say once we set up the catalog and VDA, we need to deliver the desktops or applications to the users. Those we need to create the mission catalogs. Okay, after creating the mission catalogs, also user entitlement is not going to happen. We need to create delivery groups. So we have two components. One is mission catalogs. Second one is delivery groups. In order to publish the applications, desktops, or to provision them to the users, these two core components we need to understand. Okay, so first we'll discuss the mission catalogs. Mission catalogs, we have like the collection of virtual or physical missions which we are going to manage as a single entity. So we may have 1,000 desktops or 1,000 servers. Okay, those all we are going to create as a single entity. Either physical desktops can be created, or through MCS we can create the catalogs, or through PVS also we are going to create the catalogs. Okay, so these missions are virtual desktops. We should have the applications also, and those should be delivered to the user. And as we are managing as a single entity, all those missions in the catalog should have the same operating system, and the same version of the VDA also is need to be installed. Okay, and we have the different type of operating systems. We can go for a multi-session OS or single session OS, or we can give remote PC access also we can give. Okay, so remote PC we are not giving MCS, or we don't get much automation benefits, but we have already the servers are there. Those I want to deliver to the users through Citrix. Then I'll go for the remote PC access. But more advantages we are going to get through MCS or PVS itself. Then what is the difference between multi-session OS and single session OS? The multi-session OS will support shared kind of environment. For the multiple people, we can give the similar kind of shared environment we can give. Okay, so for multiple users, we can give the shared kind of environment. And what is the purpose of single session OS? Only one user at that time he can connect. Okay, Windows 10, Windows 11 kind of desktops we are going to give for single session OS. Okay, so it depends upon our client requirement. We want to go for a shared kind of environment. That means I have 1,000 people, maybe 1,000 people. I don't want to create 1,000 single session OS. Okay, I want to create maybe around 20 to 30 multi-session OS I'm creating, and those 1,000 people are shared environment. They're connecting to those multi-session OS. Each server may be connected by 40 to 50 people or 100 people. They may be connected to that multi-session OS.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So then after you create the catalogs, you need to entitle that to the users. Okay, so that means to which users that application access we want to define. Okay, for that we are going to create the delivery groups. At the end of the today's session, everyone should be able to explain in your own words what is the meaning of catalog and what is the meaning of
Delivery
delivery
group.
groups. Okay, so here first which resource we need to create, catalogs or delivery groups?
Catalogs, mission
Catalogs.
Yeah,
catalogs.
first we need to create the catalogs. After that, we need to create the delivery groups. Okay, so by creating the delivery groups, we have already the missions are there created by catalogs. We have the users and groups in the AD. We are linking them, or we are binding them, or that's maybe called as user entitlement. Okay, then users can access those resources. By creating the mission catalogs, directly users can't access those resources. By entitling them or binding them from the delivery groups, users are getting the authorization to access those delivery groups. Okay, so now here we are going to contain the missions from the mission catalogs, and we are giving the permissions to the Active Directory users, or in that large scale environments We are not giving to the individual users. We are going to give the access to AD groups. AD groups, because maybe sales team or HR team like this, to the individual users we are not going to give, to the AD groups we are going to give. Okay, so now here one important point is there. The delivery group missions maybe the missions may be from one or more catalog. Okay, it's not mandatory delivery group need to be created from the one catalog itself. That means I have two catalogs, four missions, then I want to give three missions from the two catalogs. Okay, that means in delivery group how many missions I have? Six missions I have given. Okay, how many still my missions are available is two missions are available. Those I can give to another delivery group. Like this depends upon my requirements. I'm going to create the delivery groups, and we have application groups also. We have what are those also we'll discuss. Okay, so now here try to understand the mission catalogs are the collection of physical or virtual missions that provides desktops and applications. So now here we have as a single entity we are managing those collection of physical or virtual missions. Okay, and these are managed or unmanaged. Managed means mostly we have through the MCS, PBS like this, or unmanaged also. Those are the physical kind of servers. And here we have single session OS or multi-session OS. So now if the users or my clients are like a personalized isolated desktop experience, if they want, okay, they want Windows 10, Windows 11 kind of dedicated and personalized desktops if they want, then better to go for the single session OS. Okay, so then here we are going to use multi-session OS also. It's a shared environment, shared applications or desktops, maybe for the help desk guys, call center guys. Okay, say in the job, okay, so we have two types of users. We have task-based workers, okay, knowledge base, knowledge based workers. Okay, mostly the call center employees, BPO kind of things, help desk admins, those are maybe called as task based workers. They just will connect to that application, they will do their work, and they're going to leave for the day. Whereas knowledge based workers are, for the knowledge based workers are
Admin.
maybe developer kind of thing, or they want to they should have their own personal kind of environment need to be shared, and they want to connect from the same desktops. So these kind of people are called as knowledge based workers. So we have two types of users. One is task based workers. Okay, so mostly task based workers we are going to give shared kind of environments. Okay, so for these knowledge-based workers, mostly will try to give like their own desktop experience can be delivered. So it depends upon their client devices. From there, they're going to connect based on the shifts. So we need to choose which catalogs need to be given to the users. These all architect will decide. Okay, and we have already physical missions are existing. Those I want to share them now to the users. Then I'm going to go for physical missions also. But instead of delivering through RDP, we are delivering them through Citrix. Okay, so now here in this very important are there in the MCS also, we have pooled random, pooled static. So now here we have two types of important things we need to understand. Pooled and dedicated. Okay, again in the pooled we have two types, pooled random and pooled static. What is the meaning of pooled here is, if I give the pooled, okay, if I give the pooled, okay, there is no guarantee. Like here if I go for the pooled, okay, user data is not persistent. What is the meaning is, say suppose we have a clean master image, or that will called as golden template. What is the state of that itself? I connected, then I stored some my files or something. Okay, but once the system restarts, my data is going to be deleted. Again, whatever the golden template state we have, that data only we are going to get it. Okay, with the pooled, what is that? What is the difference? User data is
Not
persistent or not persistent?
not persistent.
It's a
Not persistent.
non-persistent kind of user data we are going to get with the pooled. Okay, user data is going to be deleted once the user log off, or once the user restarts or log off his session. Okay, but with the dedicated kind of data, user data is persistent. Okay, so mostly for the task based workers we'll go for the pooled kind of catalogs. For the knowledge based workers we are going to give dedicated. Okay, user data is not persistent. Okay, what we will do is we can integrate with user profile to get the data persistency. Okay, we are going to give any of the user profile UPM kind of solution. Then once the user log off, and the in that desktop he is going to lose the data. But if we connect from another desktop also, from where the user data is storing, from the user profile, we'll have a roaming profile kind of concept. Okay, from that the data is going to be get. But in the desktop we are not going to store the, in the desktop we are not going to store the
Data
User.
of the user.
data, that is going to be vanish. Okay, and it goes to the state of golden template, or what is the master image we have. That data itself next time when we log in we are going to get. But if we want the user data need to be stored, for the pooled catalogs we are going to integrate with user profile management, and the user data is going to be loaded from the profile. But in the dedicated catalogs, the data is also persistent. Okay, what is the disadvantage of dedicated is we require more storage. We require more
Storage.
storage is
Storage.
required. So we require more storage is required for this. Okay,
Sir,
yeah.
what is exactly this pool means?
What is exactly?
Pool.
No, no. If you create the pooled catalogs, the user experience is he will lose the data.
Okay, random and static
Yeah,
as well.
that is we'll discuss.
Okay,
So in the pooled again we have two types: pooled random and
Static.
pooled
static.
static. Okay, so if I go for a pooled random, okay, I'll assume I'll try to understand. 30 desktops are there. Okay, so there is no guarantee user will get which desktop. Okay, randomly, so assume we have a lab, we have 30 computers. Okay, if it is pooled random, you can sit anywhere. Okay, say in your class where you are going to sit every day, you will sit in the same bench or same place, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is not pooled random.
Okay,
Okay, that means the same desktop there is no guarantee you are going to get if it is pooled random. Controller will take the decision at that moment in that catalog which desktop is available, that is going to be assigned to the user. If it is pooled
random.
random, but if it is pooled static, okay, for the first time when the user is connected to that desktop, we are going to get a binding between that user and desktop that has been assigned to the same user itself. Okay, so that means What is the difference between pool random and pool static?
In pooled random, user can connect any of the desktop that will
Yeah,
be
which is
decided by
available in
DC.
the catalog. Yeah, which is available at that moment based on the load balancing, all those, it would be connected. Okay, say with the pool static, what's happening is for the first time when the user connects, user will get a desktop and a binding is going to come between that user and that desktop. For the subsequent logins, okay, what is going to happen with the subsequent logins?
It will connect to the
Same
same
desktop.
server.
It will connect to the same desktop. That desktop is not going to be given to the users. The desktop is going to be not given to the users. So can you tell me the difference between pool static and dedicated? So what is
Uh,
the difference between pool stat? Anyhow, the same desktop, right? Here also we are getting.
but it is a temporary. In
Yeah, the
static,
data
once
is
log
not
off.
persistent with the
Pool static.
pooled static. Okay. So then why user need to go to the same desktop? Anyhow, user data is not there, right?
For
Applications.
load.
Not for load.
Applications are saving.
Yeah, same applications, right? All the mission catalogs are because same mission catalog, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Why we need to go for pool static? Okay. So anyhow, data is not there. Same kind of applications, but some applications have been binded based on some applications have been binded based on MAC ID or maybe internal host ID. Okay, so these kind of bindings are there. Okay, so if I got a new desktop again, what I need to do? I may need to register for the password or maybe I need to get a OTP kind of things. Okay, if you have an applications, those have been binded based on the MAC ID or that host ID. Okay, then better to go for pooled static. Otherwise, assume I have 30 users. 30 users, if they got randomly the desktops, in that morning, 30 members also need to register for maybe OTP, these kind of things. If I don't have such kind of applications, then better to go for pooled random.
Full
But my
random.
applications have been binded based on the MAC ID. If that is that user can be login. Say suppose I'll tell one use case. We have a bank manager. I'm going to allow his login only from the bank manager system only. Okay. Say clerk want to log in from by using bank manager credentials from the desktop or laptop. I don't want to allow. Okay. If you have these kind of specific requirements, better to go for
Pool static.
pool static. Otherwise, it's the cheaper one is
Pool random only.
pool random. Mostly in the world, the cheapest desktops are pool random itself. Okay, pooled static, dedicated, are little expensive itself. Means we need to maintain more infrastructure. If I have 3,000 members coming in three shifts, okay, with the pool random, how many desktops I need to maintain? So maybe 1,000 desktops may be enough. If I go for pool static, I need to maintain 3,000
3000.
desktops. If I go for dedicated,
3000.
3000.
3,000 I need to maintain. Okay, that's the reason with the 1,000 or 1,200 desktops itself, if I have three shifts, I can maintain, I can
1000.
maintain at the 1,000 or 1,200, maybe 200 I'm keeping buffer if any overlaps happens also, I can maintain. Hope you understand, right? Okay, so in the
Sir.
MCS we'll create both these PVS and MCS. Okay, pool random, anyhow non-persistent desktops and user no need to connect to the same desktop each and every time. And even if that desktop resets to the golden template or master image also, there is no impact to the task-based workers. Okay, so to the task-based workers, better to go for pooled
Random.
random. Okay, so maybe here task-based workers means maybe call center employees or any training environments, they can connect to that any of the generic application desktop, and they no need to save their changes. Once their work is done, all that changes mostly saves in the application itself. Okay, so then with the pooled static, it's almost non-persistent itself. Okay, but some binding is going to come between user and that desktop. Okay, so we have some level of persistency that's maybe at the MAC ID level. IP address, don't expect we'll get the same IP address because that's DHCP decision. But I have some specific application bindings based on the MAC ID or any of the host ID. Internally, I have that kind of binding is there. Then better to go for pooled static. If you don't have that kind of binding, I recommend to go for pooled random itself. Then, like dedicated desktop is recommended for dedicated desktop is recommended for.
Single session OS.
Yeah, so maybe for the like even in the single session OS also we can create pooled and dedicated, but for the knowledge based workers who require their persistent experience, maybe developers, okay, say they want to save their files and they don't want to store in the profile. Okay, for those kind of executive users, top management, developers, for them better to give dedicated VDA mission catalogs. Okay, and coming to that provisioning methods, we can use either MCS or PVS. So both are the two different techniques. For the imaging purpose, we are going to use MCS or PVS, but now we are trying to do through the manual method. And if you go for the MCS, power management also is managed very good. Like power management benefits, we have cost cutting benefits. We have okay automatic. We can power on, power off the missions. We can schedule the power management for the MCS catalogs. How that power management also we'll discuss. Okay, so it depends upon our requirements. If we want the user personalized desktops, okay, if they want the complete dedicated, then dedicated VDA or pooled static. For shared resources, multi-session OS, and user not persistent, generic purpose, pooled random. Already we have the missions, and those physical missions I have are already VMs are existing. Those I want to deliver to the users, then go for the mission catalog, physical mission catalog. Okay, so then once we deliver these desktops, so how to create these all in the tomorrow class I'll show. We need to create these mission catalogs. Okay, so after this we need to choose either which type of desktop like we need to choose, and in the MCS also we are going to get. Okay, so already we discussed MCS mission catalogs are collection of physical or virtual missions entitled as a single entity, and will have a single operating system and VDA. Okay, and we have single session VDA, multi session VDA, pooled and dedicated. Okay, or in the pooled also we have again pooled random, pooled static. Okay, after this we need to understand delivery groups. So already we have the missions. Okay, assume I'll tell a physical use case. Today our company has purchased 100 desktops, means 100 laptops they have purchased, but they will entitle those to the users, right? Management has decided 32 sales guys, 22 HR team, okay, another 32 maybe to the developers or software engineer team. Okay, so like this how many we have? So that 100 desktops we purchased, right, physically, but in the virtual environment, those we are creating in catalogs. Okay, so we created those 100 missions in the catalogs. Then I'm going to create one delivery group. Okay, in the delivery group, what I'm doing out of that 100 desktops, how many I'm assigning?
30.
How many I'm assigning?
30
30.
desktops.
30 desktops. Out of 100, I'm assigning only 30 itself. Okay, in the AD, to which users I will select that?
Sales users.
At
Sales.
sales users. Okay, after that 20 I'll attach to
HR.
HR.
HR. 30 I will attach to
Software.
Software developers.
software. Then what HR team is fighting is 20 missions is not enough for us. We have a lot of people. They want 10 more desktops. Then what we can do is, to that existing delivery group of HR delivery group itself, we can add
10 mission catalog.
10 more not 10 more mission catalogs. From the same catalog, we are adding 10 missions.
Okay.
Okay, so then total how many missions are completed?
90.
30.
90. Now, software team is requesting 20 more. Okay, 20, we have 20. We don't have 20, right?
Yes, sir. Only 10
Yes,
is
sir.
available.
Only 10.
Then we can add more missions to the catalog, or we can create a new catalog. Okay, and that can be assigned to the software team. So like this, depends upon the requirement. We need to create the different type of catalogs, and those need to be entitled to the users by creating the delivery groups. And while creating the delivery groups, we can create from multiple catalogs also. Multiple catalogs also we can create. And those entitlement itself is happening from delivery group. Okay, so we can give the applications, we can give, or only desktops also we can give. Okay, if we give the applications, we can create even application delivery groups also. And at the delivery group, what is the main advantage is, my HR policies are different. My software development team policies, we can enforce different access policies also at the delivery group level. Okay, and a delivery group can pull the missions from multiple catalogs. Okay, connect from multiple
Catalog.
catalogs also we can connect. Okay, so this is theory wise very important, and we need to understand these all that differences. Okay, so then we'll go for creation of these catalogs. In the tomorrow session, we'll create delivery groups and all this. In the tomorrow session, we'll discuss.